Hello my good viewers, we are back again on the episode 2 of unstacking my life from the seasons of pain to rebuilding back my strength, as I've told you in the episode 1. So here we are on episode 2 of the same series about my journey. I've answered you the question about who I am, where I come from, my professionalism, my passion, what I'm currently doing. I've answered all those questions in episode 1. So in this episode 2, we are going to talk about why I left my civil servant job to run for a political seat. One of the major reasons why I left my civil servant job, because people keep asking me, why did you take that risk? Why did you have that confidence to leave that job? And it was a government job. Okay, fine. Yeah, it was a government job and it was a good job. But now what I've come to learn in life is that life is too short to live a life that you're not leaving footprint of impact of something positive. I've come to learn that when you are brought into this world, you are born for a purpose. You are born to solve a particular problem, and that is not supposed to be an advantage to you alone, but an advantage to a larger community, an advantage to the society. It's supposed to be an advantage to the nation. You're supposed to be an advantage to people across the world. And in my previous job, according to the rules and regulations and code of regulations of a civil servant, you could not have been allowed to do the expansion of serving the community as I really wished. That is now one of the reasons why, because I had the passion to touch life, I had the passion to change lives, I had the passion to impact and transform lives. And I saw the position of MCA will give me a good capacity, strength to be able to have salaries. This salary I can use it to empower people's lives. I would have also used my position to lobby for resources to build my community, resources to change the status quo in my community for generations that are behind me. I would have also used my platform as an MCA to change some of the policies. We have policies in the county government that have been existing ever since, and some of the policies that have not been challenged, like now the policies about when someone has been arrested raping a child. There's a policy in the constitution that says when you are arrested and you go to court, you request for a court bail, you're allowed to be set free and be casing from outside. And the issue is that when you get this court bail, you go back to the same society where you defile that family, where you made that family to be unstable in their social welfare, and eventually this case inapotelea mbali. So if I become an MCA, some of the policies I would love to change is such kind of policies, where if you're caught defiling a schoolgirl, you're not supposed to be given any cash bill. You're going to be taken to court, your process of the court case to be done as you're in the prison. So whatever the determinants of the true, whether it's true or not true, as long as the evidence is on the doctor's report, the rest of the court case should be heard when you are already inside in the prison. So some of those things you can't be able to change them when you are wananchi wa kawaida. So those are the kind of the inspiration things that pushed me to take a risk to take a risk and go to the ground and look for goats. Another reason why I left my civil servant job is because I had a burden since I started understanding who I am. When I started understanding my identity, who I am, my self-esteem, my self-worth. I've been raised in a family that is highly domestic violent. My mother and my dad, I was born and found them fighting. Yeah, I know people will be asking me, what are you saying? Are you sure? Yes. All the things that I'm going to say here, they are very true. And I'm not saying these things to make my family look bad. I'm saying these things because I've tried to have negotiations and conversations with my parents to change those behaviors, but they always have a way of making me look like whatever I'm saying is irrelevant. So they have normalized fighting in our home since I was a small child up to now. They fight with words, they fight with pigana na ngumi, they fight until it gets to the extreme, tunarushwa nje, tunalala nje. So such kind of things, domestic violence, having seen it since I was a small child, in my teenagehood, in my after Form 4, and when I got employed, it's something that got into my nerves, and I was like, there are so many families that are going through the same thing, and I need to raise my voice of purpose. I need to raise my voice of reason so that I can be able to find power and resources to be able to put an end to gender-based violence, violations in homes. I'm saying that because where I come from in my village, in the homestead around my neighborhood, you'll find the brother to my dad, that is my uncle, another brother to my dad, another uncle, another brother to my dad, another uncle, or another neighbor that is not related to us. You'll find all that village within our vicinity. Most of the homes, they survive through domestic violence, where mother fights the father and the children are there. So when you go sharing to your neighbor's house, hey, jana tulilala nje, tumenini, tulifanyiwa, hata kwetu juzi tulifanyiwa tukarushwa nje. So it is like a pattern, it is like a norm, it is like a cultural taboo. I come from an area called Mwembetayari in Magumoni Ward. In Mwembetayari village, around that area, it is like a taboo for people to fight each other in homes, and they keep quiet. And the moment you try to speak out such kind of issues, you're tainted to be the black sheep. You're tainted to be the bad person. You're tainted to be like you're shaming the name of the family in the community. So most of the people don't talk about these things. I know they'll be very shocked that I'm talking about it, but I want to raise this voice because I want all these things to end with my generation. I don't want these patterns to follow my daughters and daughters' daughters. I want them to come to social media platform when they are 18 and above to get to see that I really tried my best to push to end the patterns of gender-based violence. That is why I'm documenting this journey on this platform. So that was one of the major reasons why I vied for the political seat for the MCA, so that I can be able to use my influence to change my community, to change the vicinity within the neighborhood, people to stop fighting the domestic violence. I also grew up in a homestead where female genital mutilation was normalized. Yeah, I know most of you will be like, what? Are you sure? Yes, I'm very, very sure. I saw my first class cousins, them that are the daughters to my brother to my May God rest his soul in peace. I've grown up in a family where my grandfather, Agnes Nkanya, the name Nkanya is my grandfather's name. So my grandfather Nkanya had 2 wives. There was the first wife, that is, she's called Jane, and there was a second wife. So Jane gave birth to several sons, and the other grandmother also gave birth to several sons, and my dad belongs to the first wife. So in this vicinity of the first wife, most of the uncles in this family, I found a pattern in them, in their families, where they fight each other. The husband fights the wife and fights the children. Most of them used to sleep outside. And besides that, my grandmother Jane was one of the, how do I call it, the people who are very vocal into supporting female genital mutilation in my village. So I found my cousins, my first class cousins from the family of Mbaka. Those who know my family, they will know whom I'm talking about. There was a brother to my dad called Mbaka. He's late. May God rest his soul in peace. I know my cousins will watch this video and they'll be like, are you okay? Yes, I'm very much okay. But I decided to take this story out to the world to hear it, so they can be able to know that these things are real. My first class cousins the ladies were all circumcised. And the funny thing is that no one who said anything about it. No uncle, no auntie, not even my mom, no one stood against these things. They happened under their noses. They were circumcised, and then they were quarantined into small houses. They were quarantined. So every time tukifunga shule from boarding school, I used to go and visit them in their home. I find if it is like, I have a cousin called Kagendo, I find Kagendo, she's quarantined. When I ask, naambia, hey, alienda akatailiwa akafanywa ile kitu. When I close the other time, I find Njoki is quarantined. I find Kadomi is quarantined. There is another one called Wanja is quarantined. And I'm like, surely. These things usually used to get into me very much. It really used to affect me. And I was so scared of living in the village alone. I was so scared being in the village, being in my own homestead, but there's nothing much I could have done. I kept seeing these things in the community, in my own family, in families around our neighborhood. So many girls have been circumcised in that village, of Mwembetehali village, and there was nothing that was ever done about it. The circumcision patterns might have stopped now, but the curses and the incitation of the words that were provoked during those rituals, because circumcision for girls is a ritual. The blood that was shed, those things follows people's families later in life, and you see that it affects even their personal lives. If you watch these cousins of mine, the ones that underwent the knife, their own personal life is the patterns of how they live. You'll find things are not very much okay. So I got into politics to be able to get strength to finish the FGM, to finish gender-based violence. I also got into politics to be able to find long-term solutions for such kind of problems. And having been brought up in the domestic violence home, my dad, my own father, used to beat my mom. My dad, my own father, used to beat my mom. He used to come in the table room, maybe anapata hajapikiwa ile food anataka, and then within a moment anachukua food, he throws like this, anarushia my mom across the table room, or anaanza kumpiga ama anaanza kumtusi, and then my mom fights back. They all fight together. We are chased outside. It continued as a pattern. When we were growing up as teenagers in secondary school, I saw my dad one day very angry, took my sister's phone, took it from, snatched it from her hands, and anaikanyagia chini. Can you imagine? A new phone, anaichukua anaikanyagia chini just because anasema huku ni kwangu, huku kwangu nitakuwa nafanya venye nataka. He's the same kind of a dad who comes in my bedroom at night when he's so mad with people at home, maybe mimi nimemkosea. Anakuja at night when I'm asleep, anakuja saa 8 za usiku, saa 9, he uncovers my body, he uncovers like this. Kwanza anapiga mlango like this, and then when I refuse to open, he enters in, pushes his way inside, he switches on electricity, he uncovers me, and he's like, wake up, Agnes, wake up. My middle name is Wanja. Wanja, wake up, what are you doing? I start asking him, Daddy, what are you doing? Daddy, what are you doing? Wake up, you must wake up. And in that back and forth, he uncovers me. There's this one particular day he uncovered me. I never thought that he would come to my bedroom. I had slept with just a t-shirt. You see, the way you get home, you're tired, you just wear a t-shirt and sleep. I'm the kind of a person, I don't sleep with tight clothes. So I either wear a night dress or a t-shirt. Something that is close nearby, that is what I use. So that time I'd come from campaigns. It was during the campaign time, there 2021. I was so tired, I came home. My mom was there, my dad was there. I got home, I changed into my t-shirt and slept. I didn't even take supper because I was so tired. So around 2-3 a.m., my dad is an alcoholic. He so much spends his free time drinking in bars. That is his personal lifestyle. So he came one of the days from his usual drinking spree. He came, he started knocking on my door, waking me up. And I heard him from a distance, but I didn't respond. I ignored him. And I was like, it's so late, we'll talk tomorrow. So I ignored him and I slept. But he kept on knocking on the door, and because our bedrooms have no locks, he pushed his way inside. He came inside and he found me asleep. He switched on the light and he was like, "Wewe kasichana, nakuamsha mbona wamki?" And I'm like, "Daddy, I'm so tired, I can't wake up right now." He said, "Shut up, nonsense." He started insulting me, throwing words, ugly words, and then uncovered me and started touching me all over. Started telling me, "Wanja, Agnes, wake up. Wanja, wake up, wake up, wake up," touching me like that. Can you imagine? That is your own father. Yeah, I know it is an imaginable story, but that's the reality. He touched me all over, he woke me up, and I was like, "Stop doing this nonsense." He was like, "This is my home, I do anything I want at any time." When he saw that I'm not waking up, alikuwa na nyahunyo, alikuwa ameweka hapa nyuma, he removed it. Kaanza kuchapa. As he's beating me up like this, I was halfway naked. I just had a t-shirt. I didn't have trouser down my shoulders. He didn't even care. I shouted at him. When he saw that I'm not waking up, alikuwa ananiambia alikuwa ameenda hapo nyuma, he removed it, kaanza kunicheka. As he's beating me up like this, I was halfway naked. I just had a t-shirt. I didn't have trousers downwards. He didn't even care. I shouted to my mom. I asked her, Mommy, Mom, come and help me. Mom, tell Daddy to stop doing what he's doing. Mom, Daddy looks like he wants to rape me. Mommy, my mom was quiet all along. She kept quiet. So he pushed his way, he kept beating me up, I kept screaming, and then he was like, this is my house, I do what I want anytime. So anytime I try to get outside the door, when he's on the other side, he comes, he blocks, he stands on the door, he blocks my way from not going out, he kept beating me up as I was naked. Can you imagine? And I was there asking him, if I tell people you're tempted to rape me, will you ever defend yourself from this? Yeah? So this thing got a toll on me. The shouting went on, and finally he chased me out of the house. I slept outside on the cold with no clothes. I was all alone outside until it was dawn. We had a WhatsApp group for cousins. I told them the experience of what I had experienced last night on that previous day. And you can imagine, since everyone has normalized these things of domestic violence, they were like, why are you ashaming your family? You should not be talking about this. Can you shut up? They were like shutting me up. I shouldn't be talking about it. And I was like, how much people are allowed the cruelty of cultural taboos to keep on taking on in families, and no one who speaks about it. So I tried so many ways to negotiate for peace about this, but all the time they kept ignoring me. They kept telling people that I'm lying, whatever I'm talking about is a lie, until this moment now I decided to come out and share it with the world. So that is one of the reasons why I got into politics, to be able to find a long-term solution for such kind of issues, because it really traumatizes a daughter to be vandalized in your own home by your own dad. And this dad is not like, he's not someone who doesn't know Sharia. He was a civil servant. So he's just someone who is a dictator, who thinks he can do anything, anytime, anywhere, without caring on the emotions of the other person. So that is the answer for that. The other question people kept asking me about that issue of domestic violence. I'll do another video about it, more detailed stages of how I've been experiencing those things from a childhood up to now. But for now, let's focus on answering the questions until we are done. So I'll keep updating you on when we talk about the gender-based violence experiences. So the other question is about, did my nuclear family and extended family support my political journey from the start to the end? What do you think? What I've come to learn from this is that not all families are the same. In the reality, people expect your family to support you in everything, in all your dreams, to cheer you up. But in ideal situations of life, some families have grown into satisfaction of wickedness or patterns of not caring about other people's dreams. So in my case, I was not other people's dreams. So in my case, I was not supported by anyone. My nuclear family did not support me. That is my mother, my dad, my brother, my sister. They did not support me from the starting to the end. My aunties and my uncles, when I shared this idea with them, they were very much willing to, until when we want to do our first meeting, physical meeting, when I set a date with them, they agreed that date. But during the day of appearance of my parents in that meeting, my mother pulled out. And they were like, if your mother cannot be in that meeting, when we will be meeting, then we are also not coming. And that's how the extended family support just diminished. I don't know why, for some reason, having been brought up in a domestic violent home, I found my mother and my dad fighting. I've never gotten along with my own mother. We don't get along. I'm not close to her. She doesn't like me. She never supports my self-esteem nor my self-worth. I've grown up in the normal homestead where I was fetching water. Before the electricity and the good house that we are in came in, we used to live in a mud house. We used to live in a mud house. Being the firstborn, I fetched water. We used to go and wash clothes at the river. We used to fetch water from the river for cooking. We used to fetch water from the river for the cows. We used to fetch water for the river for every other activity. And sweeping the house, since we used to live in a mud house. So I've grown sacrificing so much, obeying my mother's voice. Everything she said, I used to do it. There was so much hardship. And as I was growing up, when I got into almost finishing secondary school, it's when now they were starting to build nyumba ya mawe, which is now a house with 4 bedrooms. This house imejengwa ilikuwa mtu mkubwa hivi nikiona, and my sister and my brother, since sometimes would be having a house girl, unapata house girl ameenda. Most of the times the house girls were not around. Being the firstborn, I was the one taking care of my brother, my sister, washing their clothes, cooking for them, washing them, taking the milk to the dairy, all those things. So having grown with all this, doing all this, kujitolea, serving in my home, I had a lot of hopes that my mom will support my dreams when I start realizing myself who I am and my identity and my purpose and my vision. But it was to my shock. She never did. She never wanted to be associated with my dreams, my ambitions and visions. So they did not support my campaign process. So that is the truth. There was no financial support. There was no emotional support. There was no physical encouragement. Everyone became very, very cold to me. They acted like I was not existing in their minds. They practically ignored me. When there were family functions, they usually, especially my mom, used to find a way to sabotage me not to be given a chance to speak to the people. It is the people who used to demand for my voice to speak in that function most of the times. She used to have a way into making me look irrelevant. you can find that even other candidates, they were coming to our family functions, they speak, saa zingine mimi naachwa hapo, and now people will start demanding, si mko na candidate kwa hii boma, simpe nafasi aongee. That is how I used to speak in our family functions. We start demanding, si mko na candidate kwa hii boma, simpe nafasi aongee. That is how I used to speak in our family functions. Can you imagine? So the battles that I fought with my journey in politics are very deep. There was no emotional support, there was no encouragement, there was no like you're doing the right thing. The people who have been brought up in warm families might not understand this kind of a conversation, but the reality of life is that some families, people don't get along, some families, people get along, some families you'll be supported with your dreams, people will encourage you, and some families you'll fight your own battles alone. I never knew these things exist until I got into politics, until I said I'm vying for the political seat. So that is my experience with my campaign period. So that is my experience with my campaign period. The only person who stood out in all these activities, the person who stood out in the campaign process, in my campaign process of all this process, from starting to the end, is one cousin of mine called Janet Wanja. She comes from the side of my mother. A daughter from brother to my mother, one of the daughters. She has been so kind. All other cousins of mine, they were infected with the family vibe that I'm not worthy to be the candidate. My time for being a candidate is not yet. Some were saying I'm too young. Some were saying I'm not financially stable. Everyone had different reasons why they don't want to support me. Some were saying I should wait for maybe 2 more terms when I'm a bit older. And I'm like, these are the mindset of the colonialism. See, we Kenyans, we were colonized by British, and most of the people, most of our schools, we've been taught by this colonial British system that we don't want to change our mindset and then embrace ourselves. We always want to support other people, but we don't want to support one of our own. You'll find my cousins, my aunties, my uncles campaigning for other candidates outside there, but one of their own, they don't want to sacrifice their time, they don't want to sacrifice their influence, they don't want to sacrifice their friends, their networks and resources to support one of their own. But you'll find them in social media platform campaigning for so and so. You'll find them on the ground campaigning for another candidate, but one of their own, it is like a nightmare. One of their own, they are seeing it like this one is not worth it. So they have that colonial mindset in them, which reflects in so many families across Africa. And this is a call to speak out to all families across the globe. We need to change our mindset as Africans. We need to change our mindset in families. Break the borders and the walls that people are building in the mind. Break those walls that people are building in the mind, and let's use our oneness to build one another. Let's use our resources to build someone who is willing to be vocal, someone who can do something that you cannot do. Let's support them. If it is someone who is coming out in leadership, let's stand with them. Let's not now raise competition. Let's not now raise ways of breaking the energies of this person. My family never supported me. So another thing I'm teaching the young people from all this: reduce your expectations. If you want to vie for political seats, reduce your expectations from what you expect from families and from people you call friends. Some of them don't want to see you rise. Some of them see you as a competition, and you will see the actions in how they behave towards when you tell them you have a specific dream. Okay? Reduce your expectations, learn to manage your own expectations, and get to know that this dream that you have, it is a personal dream. It is not our dream, but your dream. It is not the community's dream, but your dream. So that is what I came to learn from all that process. I had to push myself to readjust my mind very fast. All those moments, struggles, I was having them during the campaign season, but I could not go out and speak about it. I was only focusing on looking for votes. I was only focusing on looking for alliances and collaborations and partnerships. I was only looking for strangers who are willing to walk the journey with me. And as I'm also here, after politics, after my work ended, my family chased. After politics, after my work ended, my family chased me away from home. They evicted me from the maternal home, our village home. I was completely chased away from home through domestic violence. Yeah, I know you've not heard what I have said. After politics ended, after my civil servant job ended, I was chased away from home. Okay? That is how far families can go when they don't want to see you rise and shine. So, what I'm trying to tell you is manage your expectations. When you have a goal you want to work on, know that this is your goal. Your family, if they support you, that is well and good, and that is a very noble thing. But if your family is not willing to support you, find ways you can push yourself out there and make your dream to work. You should not stop pushing for your dreams. You should not stop working hard for your visions, for your purpose, because your family has pulled out. All the way along the campaign, the people who have supported me the most are strangers, people I'm not related with. People saw the light in me, people saw the seriousness in me, and I got a lot of support from people that I'm not related with. So don't give up on your goals when you're pushing for something. Don't give up on don't focus on the discouragement that will be around you. Every time you want to rise to a new season, every time you want to rise to a new goal, now this is where you need to get some wisdom from my journey. Every time you're rising to a new season, you'll meet something called chaos. You'll meet obstacles. You'll meet hindrances. And depending on how big your dream is going to be, the bigger the obstacle you're going to meet, the bigger the chaos, as in issues. You will meet a lot of issues that will hinder you from focusing and moving forward. So if you put your energies on asking yourself, why me? Why am I being chased away from home? Why is my family not supporting me? How am I going to finish this campaign if they are not supporting me? If you focus on that, you'll not even get the nomination certificate to get into the ballot. I'm giving an example of my journey. If you focus on that, you'll not be able even maybe to finish your school. If you focus on that, you'll not even be able to finish building your house. If you focus on that, you'll not even be able to start a new life. So the moment you overcome this, you show your mindset a positive way of taking this is just a passing moment. Doors of people who will walk with you will start opening up. God will send you strangers that are understanding this version of you that you're becoming. They will walk with you. These strangers, they don't just come. They are not set aside somewhere that these strangers will see you. It is you, how much you're pushing yourself. As you push yourself out there, it is now this energy that will be able to attract them to you. The Bible says, the Gentiles shall come to your light, kings and queens, the brightness of your rising. So the kings come to being attracted to your light. If you're not pushing for that light beyond the chaos, people who are supposed to walk with you will not find you along the way. So that is a point of an encouragement to tell you, if you're going through a season where you're not getting family support, you're not getting friends support, rise above that mentality, readjust your mind very fast, and know that things can work out for you if you start strategizing and thinking differently. Another thing I learned from this season is that when you want to do something big, you will have enemies from within. If these enemies will not come from your family, they will come from your friends. If these enemies will not come from your friends, they will come from your closest people that know your weaknesses and know your former past. They will start bringing up issues that you are able to overcome in the past, to bring them as the reports to your destiny helpers, so that they can block them from helping you. So what you need to do is get to know that it is not everyone that is in your life right now that is meant to walk with you in your life up to the end of the journey. Some people, you lose them along the way. Others, you embrace them as you continue. It is you to have wisdom to get to know the end of this person associating with me ends at this stage. The end of this person associating with me too ends at this stage. The end of this other person associating with me at this stage. The end of this other person associating with me ends at this stage. So have friends, but don't have them in the same level. Categorize them according to how they understand your vision, to how they support you, to what they mean into your life, to how they are adding value to where you're going and where you're focusing into. So we are going to come to a close to the second episode. We are going to be doing the third episode very soon. So for today, we do first and second episode. That episode will be about why did my mother chase me away from home, and have they ever reached out ever since? Have they ever shown any compassion, empathy to bring reconciliation or forgiveness? That will be the third episode that we'll be talking about. But what I want you to have learned so far is every new season that you're getting into, you must meet chaos. And for you to overcome those chaos, you need to change your mindset. You need to know that if you continue the same mindset, after you meet the chaos, you'll not be able to rise. And to rise beyond those limitations, you need to involve a new pattern. Change your patterns, change your behaviors, change your character, change your friendships, change your environment. For a seed to germinate, it needs a good environment. So for you as a life, you need a good environment. You need to be speaking to your life as a seed. Wake up in the morning, pray. Speak into your life. spare time to speak to God. Look for specific times when you can talk to God and connect to Him and tell Him your desires. Look for specific time when you can find things that you love and focus into them. Look for specific times when you can be just alone and ask yourself, how am I progressing in whatever I'm doing? Is it making sense or is it not making sense? Look for mentors, people that have gone ahead of you, doing the same thing that you want to do. Like for me, to be able to get a voice in politics, I did not know how to talk to people in a big crowd. I humbled myself. I had to look for mentors. One of them is our second governor, Governor Njoki. I went into his meetings, campaign meetings when he started campaigning. I went there I used to go there with a notebook. He has so many vocabularies for mother tongues. He has so many vocabularies, methods. He has so many ways that he approaches the crowd, and the crowd is able to connect with him. So I used to go there with a notebook and note. If I hear a point that I can use, I used to go and note. I used to go and note down some of the MCAs that have been able to win seats. I used to also go and listen to them as they speak and note down. That is one way of learning mentorship. So learn mentorship from the people that have gone ahead of you. Ask questions. Learn what you need to do differently. When you find opportunities when you can speak in their podiums, get to know what they like you saying and what they don't like you saying. So get to interact with your mentors, get to be empowered with wisdom, get to be empowered with knowledge. So that is one way I was able to get to know how to get a voice in speaking to the public during the campaign times. So finally, having said all that, I'm here to kindly request all of you, the people that will come across this video, people in the Tharaka County, across Kenya, across the globe, Africa, outside Africa, USA, outside continents, all the continents across the world, to show me love by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Help hold my hand. I'm here to kindly request all of you, the people that will come across this video, people in the Tharaka County, across Kenya, across the globe, Africa, outside Africa, USA, outside continents, all the continents across the world, to show me love by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Help hold my hands that I can be able to get to 100K subscribers, 200, 300K subscribers. And with this community, I can be able to use the community around me to serve my society, to transform lives. Also show me love by sharing my videos widely. Show me love by following me on all my social media platforms. Follow me on Facebook. On Facebook, I'm called Agnes Nkanya Brand. On Instagram, I'm called Agnes Nkanya Foundation. On TikTok, I'm called Agnes Nkanya Brand. On YouTube, I'm called Agnes Nkanya Show. My good people, I was telling you, you support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Help me get to 100K subscribers, 200K subscribers, 300, so that I can be able to use the resources from this community to be able to impact more lives, to be able to serve more human rights activities. Because as I've told you, this work is volunteer work. I'm not paid by anyone. So that I'm able to impact more lives, I need your help to work with me, support me by subscribing, follow all my social media accounts, and then that you wish to support me financially, I also appreciate. I know some of you will be like, it's like I'm coming to ask for money online. The truth is that I'm not in a stable season. I'm not in a financially stable season after losing my government job. And the work that I'm doing with the community doesn't pay me. It's all volunteer. I'm the one who has to source for donors where they have to come from. So moving from point A to B becomes very toxic and heavy on me. And it's straining me down. So if you wish to work with me and become a support system with me on this journey financially, I'll pin my number down below where I'll say support our work. You can support me through M-Pesa or in any other kind way. If you can connect me to donors too, who have grants and donor opportunities to work with me and partner with me with the programs that I'm doing with the community, it will be really a great honor to appreciate that kind of support. So I'm here to look for a community of well-wishers, people of goodwill to work with me in this season, because as I've told you, I have no close family members who are working with me. I'm alone in this season, and being isolated and lonely, having gone all those through things, it's taking a toll on me. I'm here to look for a community of people that wish to work with me in this season. And if you come across this video and you can help me reach people like Akina Limbugi, people like Akina Eric Omondi, people like Akina Diana Bahati, people like Akina Obina TV, for them who have bigger platforms and bigger following, who can give me an audience in their platform, it will be really a great honor for you to refer me to them, for them to be able to host me in their platform. So keep working with me as we wait for episode 3 of how I'm rebuilding my strength and how I'm getting back to sharing the scars of my journey and inspiration lessons that you can be able to gather from my rebuilding journey of my strength journey. So keep tuned. For them that have not yet subscribed, subscribe. Share this video widely, and let's connect on the next video. Bye bye.